And our focus story right now is a shocking reminder of the dark ages still prevalent in many parts of our country, not least in our metropolitan cities, and how women in India are still shackled by age-old traditions and false senses of family honor by their parents and their relatives. In these pictures, a young woman can be seen and she's being punched, hit and kicked by her very own father. You heard that right? Assaulted on the streets of metropolitan city India's IT capital, Bengaluru, even as bystanders simply watched and did nothing. The girl's fault. The parents of the girl wanted her to marry the man of their choice, and for refusing to do that, they abused, dragged her out of the house and physically assaulted her on the streets of Bengaluru, while nearly 30 people simply looked on. The incident happened in the city in the morning today near the Domlur flyover. Finally, two good Samaritans rescued the young woman from the clutches of her very own parents. The most ironic possible situation. They also took photographs of the girl and of the abuse, the thrashing that she received from her very own father. She was kicked, she was punched, her hair was pulled, she was dragged on the ground, and while she was on the ground, she was kicked as well. When the two women tried to take the girl to safety in their car, the father sat on top of the car to try and stop them. The victim hails from Madurai and works in a Bengaluru school. Interestingly, the victim's father works with the Madurai police. That's right, he's a policeman. But just look at what this policeman, who's supposed to uphold the law, did to his very own flesh and blood.
We were just driving towards work, and we just saw this guy, so-called Madurai police guy, and was holding his own daughter by her hair and thrashing her, hitting her on her face, on her groin with his leg. She was crying for protection, and it was just appalling to just watch. Nobody did anything. We got out of our car. We kind of practically fought back, because he's a huge man. We had to kind of fight with this Hulk-looking size man, and it was really difficult, but we managed to get him off his clutches. She wants to remain anonymous, and we did not. We called the police because this guy was running behind her. The girl wanted to run behind an auto. She sat in an auto. This guy even hit the auto guy. She ran out of the auto, and that's when I yelled out, "Run to my car." There's a black car standing there. "Run to my car." So she ran. I ran behind her. The father's running behind me, and I quickly opened the car. She sat in, and we got in, and we locked the door. He did not. He said, "I'm also a police guy. Do what you want. Call the police. I want the police to come here." So we called the police. We dialed 100. We called the police, asked them to come because this guy was sitting on my bonnet. As the photos say, he was sitting on the bonnet. He refused to move. He tried to reverse back. He climbed on the bonnet. He just wouldn't let us budge. So we said, fine, we will wait for the police to come.
Joining me live from Bengaluru, we've opened our phone lines. Those are the numbers that you can call to tell us what you think about this horrifying incident and what it really says about the freedom of young women in India, even with their own parents. Can things like these happen in Bengaluru? Well, they just have. Rohini Swami, my colleague, joins me live from Bengaluru. Activist lawyer Pramila Nisargi is on the phone line with us. But we already have our first caller who's called in. Sumalata calling in from Hyderabad. Sumalata, go ahead. What do you think? What do you think about this? Sumalata, if you could mute your television and tell us what you think, because otherwise you won't be able to hear me.
Yeah, actually I want to share my views against this action.
Yes.
While the government does not have any strict rules against such cases, and my own experience I want to share about the Hyderabad, there is no safety even at 10 a.m. nor at 6:30 p.m. Why this government is not taking any strict action against such a crime?
Absolutely. Okay, that's a fair point that's been raised by our first caller. Sumalata says this is a safety for women issue. The ironic part, of course, is, and Rohini, I want to come to you, this isn't just about safety for women. This is broad daylight. This is morning. This is Bengaluru. This is one of India's largest cities, considered to be safe for women. And forget all about that. This is the girl's own father kicking and abusing her. Rohini.
Yes, Chef, and the fact remains that when usually some incident happens with any woman or anybody for that matter, the first thing that we go home, we go to our parents, we go to our family. If our family themselves behave so, then where does one go? Here, this girl had these two good Samaritans who were actually watching, well, the other 30 or 40 people who just watched her being kicked and being hit and assaulted by her parents. They walked up to her and tried to save her. But not every time does a situation like this arise. The point remains is, where is the freedom of that girl? She's crossed her age of 18. She's a working professional. She has the right to take her own decisions. Well, there are certain things like family values that we all believe in, but taking it to the roads, taking it to the public spaces, beating her up like that, insulting her as a human being itself is something which is unacceptable, and that is why both of them, these two good Samaritans who have taken photos, who managed to take it while trying to save her at the same time, have put it up on a social media website saying at least in that way people will get to know that something is going wrong in society and people should speak up. At least if this girl couldn't speak up for herself with her own parents, at least the people should speak up for her.
Pramila Nisargi, from a legal perspective, from an activist perspective, how many different laws have actually been broken in this particular case? There's violence against a woman. There is, there are several other things actually happening here. There is the angle of, family honor and everything else attached to that. From your perspective, ma'am, what's going on here?
See, immediately action should have been taken by the police. Cognizance could have been taken.
Yes.
It is in the public. And that too, with beating his own daughter. I'm certainly shocked with this behavior of these men. See, women are not safe either in the road or at home. This is what we are, experiencing. Either she's happy or in the bus is not safe, planes are not safe. I do not know where women must live now. I do not know what men want, whether they want to annihilate the entire women in the country. Is that the object? I can't really apprehend. I can't imagine. This is too much. One cannot comprehend. What is this? What does the Constitution say? Equality before law. After 18, she is a major. She has every right to do whatever she likes.
Yeah.
And she has the freedom of right. Freedom has been conferred under the Constitution. After 18, she must be treated like a friend. That is how the parents must treat her. They cannot beat her. They should have. One question that arises, what haunts me is, I heard that the people were surrounding and they did not come to her rescue.
Correct.
I tell you there is some reason. In Karnataka, what is happening is, if people go to rescue, they will be prosecuted. I told you in the Kolar incident.
Yes, absolutely.
The incident taken place. Till today, that the girl is in the Kolar hospital. She's a pregnant lady, beaten with the police.
So there is a fear to... Yes, okay.
Came to rescue her, all of them.
There is a fear to rescue. There is no incentive for people to actually intervene and actually help people in this sort of situation. That's the real shame. That's the framework. We have another caller, Rana, calling in from Delhi. Rana, go ahead.
Sir, the first thing you should do is immediately arrest this man and take him to the psychiatric ward. And the other thing, the IG should arrest, take action against this man. Let it be known so that everybody can see this idiot cannot get along like this in mental retard.
Yes, well, I don't think that he's very ashamed of his actions. He's doing all of this to his very own daughter in broad daylight, very close to his home. I don't think he even cares, what the public thinks about him. So I don't know how much shaming can actually be done for a person like this. Radhakrishnan is our next caller, calling in from Chennai. Radhakrishnan, please go ahead. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, I saw this program just now.
Yes.
And it's a purely emotional matter in the family. The only thing that policeman did wrong was to bring it to the state.
So you think that it's okay for him to hit his daughter?
This is not a matter for public discussion. See,
you think it's okay for him to hit his daughter?
Yeah, you see, when a father brings up the child with so much of hope and other things, and suddenly she goes, naturally the man will get annoyed. And they say most of the cases now are that they don't think before
shocking, sir. Radhakrishnan, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm quite shocked to hear what you think. You're saying that, actions like these are justified. I don't think anybody in any modern society, certainly not here in India, should have even the smallest bit of tolerance for this kind of action. You're saying that a father has certain rights with his daughter. This definitely isn't one of them. She's an adult. She has her own decision-making capacities, and she has been brutalized in public, shamed, assaulted physically and mentally tortured by her own parents. The kind of message this actually sends out, forget about the personal situation and washing dirty family laundry in public, that may be some people's opinion, but at the end of the day, the message this sends out is absolutely horrific. Rohini, has this man been arrested? What action is being taken against him?
Well, as of now, no complaint has been filed because the victim herself wants to remain anonymous. And also, let me also tell you that what I get to understand is the person, that is the father, was with the Madurai police. He has been suspended 2 years ago for a different kind of behavior. So obviously, he has had this kind of history.
Yes.
But yes, in terms of the voices that we're hearing, Shiv, from Bangalore, is that nobody has a right to hit, kick anybody the way they did. Father and daughters,
Right.
Yes, it's a family business. Yes, it's all about family. I'm a daughter of my father also. But the problem remains that being hit or being beaten the way the child has been, the lady has
It is
been
just
beaten, is
unbelievable,
something that is
Rohini,
not
that this
acceptable,
man
not
still
even in
hasn't been
public
arrested. If this
spaces.
happened this morning, it's absolutely unbelievable. A complaint has been filed, cognizance has been taken, but this man is actually still out there. I hope his daughter is actually nowhere close to him. Namrita, calling in from Chennai, our next caller. Namrita, what's on your mind? What went through your mind when you saw these pictures?
You know, what is most disturbing is the blatant fearlessness with which this father dares to bring the daughter
Yes.
out publicly in broad daylight. I mean, there are things happening within the closed doors. That is another aspect which we need to deal with.
Yes.
But what social circle, what social society are we living in Bengaluru? And the father doesn't seem to be afraid of anybody around him.
Namrita, I want to ask you a question. The fact that this father has, been bold enough to do this in public, doesn't it simply indicate that worse things are actually happening behind closed doors and inside the privacy of people's houses?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And more than that, the mother just stands mutely and does nothing. Maybe something else must have happened in neighborhood earlier. Nobody took the steps so far. I mean, this man, he knows very well that nothing is going to happen to him. Firstly, he's a policeman. And secondly, he dares to sit on the bonnet of those two girls.
Yes.
I mean, shameless person, he does not fear the girls. And so much is happening in our country right now.
People are very taken by this story. I can tell you that people are very affected by this story because of the various aspects of it, the brazenness of this kind of violence that a father can shower on his own daughter. Our next caller, Gopal, calling in once again from Chennai, our third caller from Chennai this evening. Gopal, go ahead. What's on your mind?
Hello.
Yes,
Good
Gopal,
evening.
go ahead. I can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
See, this is a very brutal thing which has happened. And all are reacting. But pardon me for saying this. See, a father is really concerned about the daughter, not about the son. You know what happens if the daughter goes out and gets into some trouble like getting pregnant or anything
You're
like that?
justifying the violence,
At
sir.
the time, please bear with me. If anything happens like that and the boy ditches her, she will come back to the father only.
So you're saying this is justified.
Responsibility. The
So you're
daughter
justifying
is a
this.
responsibility for father, because as long as they live good, it is fine.
Gopal, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion, but I'm afraid I have to ask the question. You appear to be justifying the violence, no matter what the compelling factors in this particular case. And I'd like to have the word on this, is that nobody has the right to treat anybody this way. A father, a daughter, no matter what the relationship, this is simply unacceptable. It may have been acceptable in some age gone by. In modern India, a law-abiding country, this is simply unacceptable, not only because it's illegal and criminal, but also because of the huge number of messages it actually sends out at a time when sensitization about violence against women and prejudice and family honor and other such vicious principles are big focuses in society.